Hello and welcome to NewFilmmakers Los Angeles. My name is Danny De Lillo. We're here at the South Park Center. I'm here with Victor with his video, The Ugliest. Let's take a look at a clip.
This is the loneliest I've been.
Victor, I struggle saying The Ugliest because, you know, it was so beautiful. But thanks so much for bringing your film to us. Like, it was a wonderful experience. But those that haven't seen it, tell us a brief synopsis of the story.
Well, basically, it's a reverse love story about heartbreak. That's essentially it, really.
Yeah.
It's very short, but it's just more about being in the moment and being there with these two wonderful guys as they basically, you see their relationship from the moment it failed to basically when it started. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
You're very modest, Victor. I mean, I was like there, like crying, and just like in this relationship, like I know how that person feels, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, not to mention like the song, I played it over and over again because it's the artist is so fantastic. Yeah. You have a great story about how this all came about. Tell us a little bit about how the inspiration came for you coming together.
So I met the artist. I was at Sundance and I was at a party, and the artist was with his band. So they were playing, and I was just blown away. I loved his energy. I loved his voice. And I literally afterwards, I just approached him, and I said, "Hey, I'd love to work with you in the future." And we exchanged contact information, and we kept in touch, kind of like, you know, for about a year. And then the pandemic hit. And when the pandemic hit, he finally reached out to me and said that he had a project. And he basically explained to me how he had been in the closet essentially his whole life. He had been married, and he had come out to his wife, and he had just broken up with his first boyfriend. And the level of heartbreak that he felt about, you know, he was finally comfortable with being who he was. He was finally comfortable with just being himself.
Yeah. And
then suddenly getting this huge heartbreak, it almost felt like, how he explained to me, it almost felt like it was the first love of his life. Mm-hmm. And it's dealing with all these emotions. Mm-hmm. And he was writing an EP about trying to process all these emotions.
Wow.
So he shared with me a few of the songs, and when I heard The Ugliest, I immediately responded to it.
It's a great song.
I loved it. I thought it captured a lot of that. So then we essentially sat down and we talked a lot about what heartbreak means. And we talked a lot about like just the universal experience of heartbreak, mm-hmm. and like how we see heartbreak from our points of view. Mm-hmm. And he told me about his relationship and all this stuff. And one of the things that really occurred to me was when you wake up a lot of times and you're really, really fresh, mm-hmm. and you have your heart broken like that, I feel like you start by seeing all the bad stuff, but eventually with time, even if you're like me,
time's a healer, isn't it?
Time's a healer, and you start seeing all the good stuff in the relationship, and you try to see, like, you know, that it was worth it no matter what. So I decided that I wanted to make it in reverse to kind of like give that process, the thought process, just compress it in time, mm-hmm. of when you kind of like are able to move on. Yeah. And it mimics a little bit of what the song is talking about.
Definitely. Oh, it's like a therapy session right here. It's wonderful. No, no, but it was you know, your vision that you had for this music video. It was captivating. You know, like there was just so many like montages of memories and all those feelings that we feel. You know, and then again, it was just so nice because, you know, when you look at a music video, you really, you know, it's kind of resemblance of like a real experience or life, etc. Yeah. It was love. It is always nice to see, like, you know, a couple of the same sex, like, you know what I mean, in a music video, because I think it really just normalizes, certainly for me, you know, this is normal, right, people? And that was so nice with the song. Was that something that was important to you as well?
Yes. So that was very, very important from the first moment. We wanted to feel. We talked about it, and it was our goal. We wanted to normalize a same-sex couple. We wanted it to be beautiful and romantic. We didn't want to call attention to the fact that it was a queer couple. We just wanted to be like beautiful and normal, so that when other people would see this, though we weren't like pointing to it, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel a lot of times, even as a Latino, that sometimes we get like, there's a Latino, we have to like talk about the fact that it's a Latino. We have to put things that they're. It's like, no, this is a Latino, and like they're just in the space. So I want to do things where people like me, people like the people that I love, they can see themselves on screen, but not necessarily show like this is a queer person. Let's show this is Latino. So like that was our goal.
Yeah.
Just show something beautiful.
Yeah, it was so beautiful. It's called The Ugliest, but it's so beautiful. What was kind of like, because I'm always fascinated with the process of making a music video. I mean, people don't realize how much, you've got to make it really crisp with the lyrics and the song. Like, what's your kind of process when you're working with like the music and stuff and what you see on camera? How does that work for you?
Yeah, so for this, so after film school, I kind of like went into advertising. So I've been working in advertising for a lot of years. And so my process kind of like is always the same. Like I create a pitch for everything, and I do like this beautifully designed kind of like packet that I would present, my client.
Yeah.
Times I would
Hey, utilize those skills,
Right.
Yeah.
So I present the artist, and I try to understand what the artist wants. I try to understand the meaning behind the lyrics, and I try to infuse that with what I want to do, with my own creative vision, what I see with the song, what I want to communicate to the world.
Yeah.
So I normally present that, and once we're actually going to be, and like we're going to shoot, and we're going to do all these things, I'm very, very precise about everything that I want.
Yeah.
So I shot list everything, I kind of like build very specific references for everything. And then, for example, like it happens in every shoot, you realize something better on set.
Yep. Always right.
But when you understand the intention of why you chose the things that you wanted to do, when you understand why this is a story you want to tell, it's very easy to pivot on set and kind of like figure out this is actually what we should be doing now to transmit this story.
Oh my goodness, I love it. That was a great, for any filmmakers out there, you gave us a good teaching moments there of how to deal. This was, really special because it was in partnership with NewFilmmakers LA and the Academy. Obviously a particular in focus of celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, Latinx program. It was just a wonderful experience. Like, how was it for you being part of the program with the Academy? How was that experience with you?
Oh, it's been great. Honestly, out of all the festivals that I've gone to, this has been my favorite experience. I felt that all the other filmmakers, we all got really close. We've created our WhatsApp group.
Oh, you did? Oh,
yeah,
it's so well.
So we were all like texting.
Oh, I love it.
Like sending each other things. So we've actually grown close, and everybody's like talking to each other about each other's films.
Oh my God.
So it's been great.
Beautiful.
The people that we got to meet, the opportunity to talk with them and ask them questions, and for them to hear us.
Yeah.
Like I feel even for me, it helped me kind of like finesse and sharpen some of my own pitching skills just by doing that. And so overall, it's been like, you guys all are so great too. I've loved interacting with everybody from the NewFilmmakers LA group. So I actually feel very awesome and blessed to have had this opportunity.
Well, welcome to the family. Welcome to the NewFilmmakers family. No, this is, I'm so thankful you made this story. I think it's, I think aside from just the fantastic song, which it is, and I love the artist very, very much, and I want to hear everything that they do. But aside from that, like this story, it was just so nicely put out there, because I think it will just also resonate the fact like sometimes relationships don't work out, but there was an essence of healing in there too, that I was just like, oh, I can let that go, or, and I'm sure that's something you were kind of thinking about too.
Yeah. So, we didn't, I didn't want to make it that, like, sometimes we feel like when we're seeing things in media and entertainment, like, they try to assign why a relationship didn't work, or why something doesn't work, and they try to make it a problem about something. And they try to but the reality of life is sometimes things just don't work.
That's right.
Sometimes things are just not meant to be. And that's one of the things we wanted to do. Like, I was like, I don't want this to be about anything specific.
No.
I don't want to call attention to any sort of problem.
Yeah.
I just want this to be, they didn't work out. They had a beautiful spark in the sun, they had a beautiful moment, but then it ended. Yeah,
no, it was, I think a lot of people will enjoy watching that to get a bit of healing aside from that too. So well done. What is next for you, Victor?
So next, I respond a lot to things that deal with identity, obviously, and with belonging. So those are things that I tend to look for a lot in my personal work, what I try to infuse the work that I do. In that sense, I'm a little bit gender agnostic.
I love it.
So it's whatever serves to tell the story that I'm trying to tell. So now, one of the things, I love romances, of course.
Yes.
But the other side of me also loves horror.
Yeah, hell, yeah, I love it.
You know? So one thing I've noticed as a Latino is the portrayal of Latinos in horror.
Yes.
And one of the things that I found that I would like to take my hand is that Latinos in horror, they're normally portrayed in like a subgenre that's more supernatural, with ghosts and with demons and all these things. They show like matriarchs that are like super devoted. Yeah. They show like, you know, people that are very, very Catholic. And I grew up in a very Catholic, very conservative, very kind of like hardcore, kind of like it was very difficult a lot of times to be myself.
Of course,
And that's why I think I do things about identity and belonging.
Yeah.
And once I left my home and I left my country and I started to kind of like be free of all those constraints, I started to discover who I really was and the things that I really liked. And like I have seen this with a lot of my friends that had left home, how they were able to find their way. So I wanted to bring that experience into horror and build on the stereotypes and like all these things that we see in horror, so to work against them and with them. So I'm doing a story that deals with a lot of the Catholic, a lot of the identity, and a lot of the stuff.
It.
But it's really, so my pitch is, like movie asks, what if a fame-hungry social media influencer was influenced by a stranger into becoming a mass killer? But within this, we're taking a lot of this approach that the stranger is actually a Latino expat that's like trying to find his way out of the Catholic faith.
Wow.
The social media influencer is a Latina expat, second generation, that's like trying to like herself be comfortable in her skin as like a queer person. And like it just we're seeing all these worlds connect and how it all connects. And when I say playing against and subverting these things, the supernatural aspect of it, the Catholic, there's an intrinsic supernatural aspect to believing in a God. So a big part of it is we see in his journey how even though this is not a supernatural movie, by the end he becomes a demon, and the symbology in the movie turns like that. So where the first images are very blue and bright and green, at the end is essentially fires and ash and red and black. And you see that he turns from this person that you see his face and all this stuff, and at the end he's almost a shape and an entity that's whispering in your ear. I'm
sold. I want to watch it tonight. I want to watch it now.
So we're in the process of.
This is so good. I was just like, I forgot I was doing an interview. No, that's amazing.
Yeah, so
oh my goodness, I'm
ready.
ready.
Right now.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I love, honestly, I think one of the greatest things, you've got such a great articulate vision about how you really want to feel and I want it to feel. I think that's such an important aspect. The finisher of it also. Yeah.
Thank you. So we're in the process right now of packaging it. So we got a producer. An awesome person. He's the VP of production operations at a studio called Mythic Entertainment. So
fantastic.
So he's producing it, and we're right now, probably in the next couple of weeks, we're trying to go start casting it.
Oh, amazing. I'm so excited for you.
I'm super pumped. So that's our focus. That's my focus right now. To get that out. And after that, just keep telling stories that I love. And every so often, like I'm working with another artist right now. Found him through The Advocate. He was one of the top 10 queer artists to watch, and reached out to him. And by the way, if you ever want to do something, just like don't be afraid to email, DM, whatever. And I literally just reach out to a bunch of people, and I reached out to him because I loved his music. I told him how much I loved it, and we're doing another music video.
Victor, I love it. I love it. I love your energy. I love that you're a filmmaker. I love that you got such a great artistic vision, and you're really making some great changes, in the cinematic experience. So thank you very much. Listen, thank you for The Ugliest. Thank you to all of your cast and crew you had on this film, and we can't wait to see the next film. So thank you so much, Victor. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Victor Ridaura.